Hi, thank you so much for tuning in today. Today's subject has been weighing on my mind for so many years, and it is just something I'm really, really passionate about. And I just met so many wonderful people along the way over the last, 5 or 6 years, specifically in real estate investing. And so that is what I wanted to talk about today is why even do it? Because we in life have so many options to choose from as far as what industry we're going to work in, what portfolio or what type of thing we're going to invest in for our future planning. And I think that we have so many options out there. And so, to be completely honest, this one was a tangible option that I actually understood. I couldn't quite get into ETFs and bonds and stocks and that trading or day trading or mutual bond or what is it called? The portfolios of things that you invest in. All of those things. I tried. I kind of understand. I have a little grasp of it as time has gone on, but I think that real estate investing for me has been the most tangible thing that I was able to grasp. So I just learned all I could about investing in real estate. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. So I totally get it. There are so many avenues to put your money and to allow it to grow over time, but very few can give you such a good return on investment too. And so we want to be smart and strategic, but also align with your long term goals. So over the last 6 years, focusing on real estate investing, I have met people who have a goal of retiring early, who just use rental properties as part of their retirement portfolio. And I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot of quicker cash strategies like flipping or wholesaling and things like that. And then there's a little bit more of a layered nuance with the BRRRR strategy where you buy, you rehab it, you rent it out, and you refinance it, and you repeat the strategy. So therefore, you're fixing it up, you force that appreciation into it, and you get a renter in to stabilize, and therefore the bank is able to give you a good refinance, and hopefully you can cash out of that so that you can get your money back, the money you put into it for the rehab. Now, what makes real estate investing just so unique compared to other types, like let's say your stocks and things like that, or Bitcoin, and however else you want to invest your money, is that the earned income that you're doing, you're putting aside a set proportion of it each and every time, each month, or however you work that out. And what you've put into it is what grows. But with real estate investing, you do have a certain amount you have to have as a down payment that you set aside for savings, and you have to qualify for in a traditional sense. We'll just go to the traditional sense here on, let's say, buying a rental property. Now, the good thing about it is that you actually get to leverage 80% of what that property is worth. And I just think that that is so much more fascinating to me that you can own the house but only put a small portion down. And what I really, really like about that is that when you put that renter in there, somebody else is paying that principal and interest and taxes, everything about it down. So you no longer technically really have to put any more money into the house. And you have to do some things right, have some reserves, and make sure that some of that money is, if there's any excess cash flow after the pity payments each month, that those are reserved for any of those expenses. And so, you have to be thoughtful about it. Don't go into it thinking, oh, it's just all going to take care of itself. It's a normal house, they're normal people, and things are just going to happen, weather events and things. So you just always have to be a bit more conservative about your thoughts and expectations when it comes to rental properties. But I do think that there's something special about somebody else paying into your future for that long. So when I started really getting more into this, Bigger Pockets was, I don't know, I think about 10 years into its own journey with its books and its podcasts. And at the time it was Brandon Turner and Josh, and then Josh went into David. So David and Brandon Turner, I really, really liked what they had to say when it flip-flopped between mindset and investing strategies. Each and every week had a different kind of episode, or 2 episodes a week, I think it was at that time. And it was really interesting. I loved the mindset behind all of that. And so when I think about the bigger picture of my life, and this is what a lot of people that I've come across do, so they're like, I want something to add to my retirement. I want to add to my own portfolio. So I, was about 27, 28 years old when I started thinking about it. Other life events kind of made me lead to the conclusion that I should be focused more on real estate investing. And I was thinking, well, okay, if I'm 30-year mortgage, I'm 60, I could have at least one property completely paid off. And I paid this much, that fixed payment over time with that fixed 30-year rate has been paid and steadied for 30 years, paid by another tenant and somebody else. And after that, once it's all done, obviously the only thing left at the end of the day is taxes and insurance. But again, that's not going to be a huge portion of your monthly payments. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, in retirement, then, inflation has taken place, things have appreciated over time. That's just how it goes. It might go through some cycles throughout my life, but the point of entry and the point of exit is really what matters, no matter what happened in between. And I think that at the end, at like 60 years old, okay, well, suddenly I have $3,000, $4,000 in rent coming in every month, and maybe $500 in expenses, or maybe $1,000. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's still net $3,000 that's coming to me. And so when I'm thinking, well, okay, how much do I need per month to live off of, or per year? I think, again, let's forward think 30 years, or now maybe a little less, but let's still think 30 years. Life's going to be a lot different. I think we can't ever predict the future, and we can't predict how much things are going to cost. So I'm going to way overinflate what I think I need to live off of retirement income. What do I need per month to live? So I would say, let's say 20 grand a month. I mean, is that too wild to think about? Because I thought, making 6 figures was really good at one point, it was a decent living, and now it's just kind of the bare minimum of living. So I'm just trying to think, hey, well, what could be another 30 years? So I don't think that that's too wild to say, because then you have healthcare costs and you have other things to worry about, and who knows? Gas might be $20 a gallon. Who knows? So let's just say I need $20,000 a month, and I've been, playing the stock market. I have a Social Security, which I don't think is going to happen in my lifetime for my millennial generation. We're not going to have Social Security backed up, for us when we retire. So I'm thinking, well, how much do I need? Well, if I get net $3,000 a month from just one property, and I put in, $15,000, $20,000, or maybe a little higher, maybe I wanted to go into a higher price point, I think that I'm doing pretty good for the long haul. So I am thinking about putting all this little money into real estate and having somebody else increase that over time. There's a lot of math and strategy involved. Of course, I understand. I understand the benefits of stock markets and the compounding interest, and I agree. Please diversify. Do that. But you can also reap the benefits that stock markets and other things and other investment strategies can't offer you for now. And those benefits are like your taxes. You can offset your taxes, especially for me. So I am a real estate agent, and I was given advice some time ago to get into real estate. Get into real estate was my advice. I thought that meant being an agent. I didn't know that meant like just being an investor into it. And so that's okay. And I like what I do. It was just I misinterpreted the actual meaning of get into real estate early. And so, but being self-employed, a lot of us are. We have to, we're 1099, and we have to set aside our self-employment taxes and all of that. and it can be a lot, for, you could pay $30,000, $60,000, $150,000 a year for, $200,000 a day, or however much you make as a gross income, but then you have to pay all that money into taxes, and it's just hurtful and not fun. And so instead of paying $30,000 into taxes, you could put some of that money into a rental property and write that off. So all of that income from the rental is actually a write off, and it's like counts towards depreciation of the asset. And there's a lot of tax vernacular and vocabulary and all of that goes into um, the strategies for writing off rental properties and real estate in general. But it's a unique tax bracket, and real estate is just treated so differently than other investment types. And so it is an incredible, unique tool to use to offset your high income, or if you just want to avoid paying some taxes. And I'm not advocating for not paying all your taxes or anything, but I think that it's you can reap the benefits now for something that you're still stowing away for later. And obviously, this is for rental properties more so than any other types of properties. And we can always get into the different types of real estate strategies. But in a nutshell, an overgeneralization, that's what it can do. Um, but you really do. I think it's an interesting, tangible asset to own, and it is something you can walk in, feel, and touch. And I think that is something that is far different than any other type of investments, and how it is treated in the eyes of the IRS, and how you can benefit now and later, when you are growing your wealth, when you are leveraging the bank, and how you can understand how to keep acquiring properties as you started building a portfolio up. And I think it's just an interesting way to diversify your portfolio. And I hear this and see this all the time. So we got to align with what your goals are. If you're looking for cash flow right now, want to live right now, well, then invest in something more actively getting you that cash flow. This is a more passive investment for the long term. So I would say just add this to your tool belt, and seriously consider it for your life.